What do you know? What do you know, YouTube? Tell you what I know. I got asked a question in the comments on one of my previous videos that asked, how do I run? And I answered it with what I feel like was a simple and basic response. And then the more and more I got thinking about it, I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good topic for discussion, because that's a pretty broad answer to that question. I mean, it's a multi-part answer, actually, if you think about it. So we're going to break it down into three parts. How I run my hours of service, my clock, how I do my loads and how many I do, and then the kind of money that I'm trying to run also while I'm running. So first off, let's get to the hours. So like I've said before, I run recaps. I don't ever do a reset out here on the road. If I do a reset, I'm at the house. I don't do it out here. I don't have any interest in hanging out in a truck stop parking lot all day long. So, and not to say that's the wrong way to do it either. So don't get me wrong on this. There's multiple ways you can do this and be successful. There's no right or wrong way. I mean, there are wrong ways. Like if you spend a lot of time, hanging out here and there and, not utilizing your clock, you're not going to make any money, But the way I do it, I try to run 8 to 9 hours a day, about 450 to 550 miles a day. Keeps me with a solid amount of hours to run all the way till I go home. And the reason why I do it like that, for one, 8 to 9 hours a day is not hard running. You can do that easy. You're not pushing yourself. It doesn't put you in a situation where you're just wore slap out. Now I will say that generally I only run 2 weeks, and I'm usually home, every other weekend basically. So what's that, like 12 days? I run 12 days on recaps. As y'all may recall, a few weeks back, I ran like 3 weeks, 19 days. I left the Monday after Halloween and didn't go home till the Friday before Thanksgiving. That was 19 days. Now, I'm not going to lie, 19 days on recaps, I was mentally exhausted by the time I got home. Now, with that being said, when I got home and I parked my truck, I had right at 2 hours on my clock left. So for 19 days, I had utilized my hours almost to the max. I don't think I could have done it any better. Like, I know people come out here and they run Monday to Saturday and they'll run it as hard as they possibly can. That's about right. My truck decided to start. Anyway, one of the good things about optimized idle, when it decides to start, it just starts. So anyway, I know people that run Monday to Saturday and they run as hard as they can for 6 days, and then on Sunday they'll do a reset, and that way they got a fresh clock come Monday morning. It's okay to run like that too. That works. If I was going to come out here and stay out here for a month to 2 months or whatever, I mean, I'd probably run as hard as I possibly could till I ran out of hours and then did a reset. But I got a wife and kids at home. I kind of like being home every other weekend. So in order to utilize my time out here, I see that running recaps works the best for me. So like I said, I run 8 to 9 hours a day, 450 to 550 miles, and that's just how I run. Kind of give you an example, I left the house on Monday, and generally when I leave the house, that Monday is generally a short day anyway for me, because first off, my wife takes me to the truck on her way to work, and so I usually get to my truck about 7:45 in the morning, and about 8:30ish, I finally get on the road. So right there, I've already lost a big part of my day, and I'm not trying to run real late in the evening and fight for parking either. So, but Monday I ran 6 hours and 50 minutes. On Tuesday, which was yesterday, I ran 9 hours and 17 minutes. So I ran a little over the 9 hours. And then today I ran 8 hours and 32 minutes. And I will continue to run like that all the way until I get home. It'll be 8 to 9 hours, right in that ballpark. That way I've always got a solid amount of hours coming back to me once I get into the recap phase. So, like I said, that's what works for me. Doesn't mean it's the right way, doesn't mean it's the wrong way. Like I said, there's multiple ways to run it. That's just what works for me. Like I said, I generally, I'm home every other weekend, and I want to run as much as I can until I go home. So I'm not trying to do a reset and lose an entire day in that short time frame. So that's how I run my hours. Now, how I do my loads, you kind of got to remember I come from a flatbed background. This is my first time doing dry van. So dry van's a little bit different, and I'm kind of learning the differences as I go here. In flatbed, I would unload and reload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Friday would be my load that would carry me through the weekend. For multiple reasons, the reason why I did that. I try to do the same thing in dry van. I'm trying anyway. I know there's people out there that swear by the short game, do a load every day, and that probably does just fine. I haven't learned the freight good enough yet. I don't know Schneider's customer. I mean, there's freight everywhere, but there's also crap freight and there's good freight everywhere. What I'm trying to figure out is what days the good freight goes what direction, and it'll take a little while to learn that. So anyway, right now I still try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now this week is a little different because the load I picked up in Oklahoma is going all the way to Connecticut. I won't kick this load off till tomorrow afternoon, which is Thursday afternoon. But what I did is I booked me a little short hop for Friday, and then I will pick up my weekend load Friday afternoon, Friday evening, basically, and then I'll deliver it Monday morning. The thing about dry van, there's so much drop and hook. You can actually kick a load off in the middle of the week and still find another load. So with flatbed, the customer base was typically Monday through Friday, open to close, open to close. So on the weekends, you didn't want to be stuck without a load. So, like I said, a little bit of a learning curve. Dry van is a little bit different. So you don't necessarily have to take a load all the way through the weekend. If you can find a really good paying load that kicks off Saturday afternoon, you can kick it off Saturday afternoon and find another load. So, a little difference there. Now, as for how I do on money wise, what I have figured out and what works for me, and this is also something that I used to teach to my trainees when I trained with Prime. If you can do $700 a day for 7 days, that's $4,900 at the end of the week. Granted, you want to do more than that, but that number there is enough to pay your bills and still put money in the bank. Like I said, you always want to do better than that. I mean, there ain't nobody out here that's wishing they could do, oh man, I just wish I could make less money this week. Yeah, no, nobody's really saying that out here. So, now granted, you're going to have the occasional week where you don't quite do that, but the main thing is in this industry, you want to run on averages. As long as you're averaging at least that every week, you'll be fine. Now, if you do, $4,500 one week and then $5,500 the next week, I mean, your average is still good. You did all right. So so that's what I try to do. I try to do $700 a day. If a load is going to tie me up for basically 48 hours, I want to make $1,400 on it. If it's, just going to tie me up for 24 hours, I'm trying to make $700-800. So, like I said, always trying to find something a little better. But with the every other day thing, if you do a load on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if you can find a load from Monday to Wednesday that pays you like $1,500, which is not hard to do, $1,500, and then Wednesday to Friday $1,500, and then find you a load going over the weekend it's paying you like $2,000, you're golden. You'll do just fine. So that works. It's worked for me. It's worked for me for several years now. That's all I got. I mean, that's about as basic and as simple as I can make it. Like I said, I kind of felt like my answer to that question was a little bit simplified, and I felt like it needed just a little bit more explanation to it. If you're trying to go home every other weekend, the week when you run a full week, you kind of need to make it count. And then on the week where you're going to be home on that weekend, understand that you're not going to have that weekend load. So, you need to make as much as you can until you go home, or find you a load that you can pick up on Friday not far from the house, and delivers, not too far from the house on Monday. So that way you can kind of split it. That's also another thing that I try to do also. I try not to go, I typically don't go home with an empty trailer. I'll say that much. If I do, it's because I delivered the load right before I got home, and I've got another load to pick up first thing Monday morning. That'll also help you with this whole Schneider thing, because if you don't have a load booked, they're gonna make you drop that trailer somewhere, and then when you come back out from the house, now you're doing this whole dreaded trailer search thing. It's no fun. So, but as long as you got a load booked, they won't bother you. You'll keep that trailer. So, with that being said, though, I don't think you can take a trailer home for like a week, even though you got a load booked a week out. But they might kind of frown on that a little bit. But over the weekend, they ain't gonna say nothing to you as long as you got something booked. So, but yeah, that's what I got. That's where I'm at today. Actually, I'm in PA. I hope y'all are staying warm, because it's been cold up here all day. Ran through the snow, everything else. But anyway, whole nother subject. But if you like what I'm putting out, I'm starting to ramble now, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and y'all stay safe, stay warm, keep the rubber down, keep the shiny side up, and y'all just keep on keeping on. I'll see y'all on the next one.